Employee involvement to us is very simply the process of getting groups of people to sit and talk together. And the first thing they discover is that their separate problems are common problems, and that working together they can solve them. And their efforts to solve them have produced the quality we're talking about and a more motivated, more committed workforce.
Sure, EI gives you that opportunity to feel that you belong.
Here at the Livonia Transmission Plant, we now have a say in what happens and how it happens.
We can give our opinion, and our opinion isn't just set aside.
Well, I think the biggest improvement that's come out of the EI process is communication.
We're telling our membership now that, hey, employee involvement is here to stay.
I think the future of this company is dependent upon EI.
This is really the first time in my life working for the company that I look forward to coming to work every day.
Morning, Nashville. It's a mild 60 degrees in Opryland and the driving's
Cleveland Lakeside is a chilly 28 degrees. It'll be partly sunny today with snow flurries expected this morning.
But the smog is going to be light in the LA basin. Sports, news, and scores coming up in about 5
Good morning.
minutes.
It's 6:30 in the a.m. Detroit. Let's go to work. There's a reported tie-up on the eastbound Jeffries.
Henry Ford's vision brought together man and the technology of his day. From the beginning, men and women operated the machines, a skilled, efficient team, mass-producing products with pride and quality. For the 80s and beyond, in a changing environment of computerized technologies, men and women will continue to operate machines with pride and quality. But they will participate in a new atmosphere of joint action to achieve common goals, to enhance the workplace, to improve the product, to shape the future of the company. We call this new relationship employee involvement.
EI office?
No, really, the thing I enjoy is meetings such as this and any ideas I get out of them that I can go back and do something about. And employee involvement is just an opportunity for all of our people to play a role in a big corporation and to have an impact on what's being done. Our people are very enthused about it. So the top management of the company is experiencing the same thing that's being experienced throughout the company, an opportunity for each level to participate.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Hourly Supervisors Institute. Okay, what we're here to focus on this week is what you, as a supervisor of hourly people, can do at Ford Motor Company to make employee involvement and participative management a way of doing business. And it's a way of getting your people totally involved and committed to their work. And that's what we're going to be talking about all week long.
Good morning.
To stimulate and encourage employee participation in the decision-making process, supervisors throughout the company are being trained in new participative management styles.
Today, as we meet to launch the 20th problem-solving work group,
simultaneously, employee involvement teams are being launched throughout the company and trained in participation skills and problem solving.
there is no way that we can tell you how to solve a problem. But the only thing that we can do is give you some tools to work with and a process in which to go by.
It's the people that actually perform the jobs that really know best how they can be optimized in terms of producing the best quality product and being most efficient. And so we have to solicit the best ideas that we can possibly get in order to ensure that we can compete effectively with all of the other competitors in the world. I think we can. I really believe that.
Employee involvement is active in virtually every Ford location, including all major U.S. manufacturing and assembly facilities. There are more than 11,000 hourly and 3,600 salaried employees meeting regularly in problem-solving work groups. Ford Motor Company has reduced its costs over the last 3 years by $3 billion. Employee involvement has helped in this effort, and it's played a significant role in dramatically improving efficiency and product quality. And just as importantly, strengthen relationships and reinforce team efforts company-wide.
how many of us know any of the guys from the other groups?
I do.
Ken, Don,
Yeah, I do.
Mike?
I got a suggestion on that. Why don't we plan on our next meeting inviting one EI personnel from each one of the groups down and show them what we're in or what we're into, and see if they can't carry it back to theirs and add on from there.
Go along with that. Okay. Okay.
Good.
So, how does that sound, everybody?
Sounds very good.
Sound good.
At Ford Engineering and Design, greatly increased usage of computers, lasers, and other high technological advances blend with the employee involvement process from advanced research through to the testing of current products.
The long-term goal at MPG with EI is to allow much better communication between the different groups. We've always communicated, but what we've done is improved our communication so that it takes less time to set up a test program, takes less time to repair equipment and all the types of things that we do for support out here.
In the particular group that I belong to, it's a diverse group, and there are salaried and hourly people. They represent all areas from the proving ground. Because of EI, I feel more personally responsible for my job because I have a voice in what happens.
Employee involvement, participative decision-making continues from engineering and design to manufacturing and assembly operations.
When the company decided that they were going to move the C6 transmission line to Sharonville, the entire job, the old machinery and all, they came to us asking for volunteers. I spent 3 weeks down in Sharonville helping them set up our instruments so we could show them how to check our gears like we checked them here.
Our hourly EI groups made various recommendations and changes that they wanted to do with our new AXOD assembly line. And based on their recommendations, we have reduced the overall length of the line by some 13 feet. We have eliminated several backup operations and several repair operations, which due to our new concepts will no longer be necessary. It's been a significant cost savings, and we haven't even got the program launched yet.
We are beginning to make the same gains in mutual understanding and tearing down some of the barriers that exist. What we've seen at Saline, and I'm sure it's true at all the other locations that are involved with employee involvement, is that you can improve the overall plant environment and the performance of the plant, the quality of the product, the cost of the product, and in so doing, provide a large measure of job security for all of us by sustaining the business and growing.
When I first got into the EI group, I really felt challenged. I had a chance to use my abilities, and at the same time, it also improved my home life without me actually realizing it. In fact, it was my wife that pointed it out.
He was employed at Ford's for 12 years, and we just purchased our first Ford last year, which I think is a big change. He felt no obligation, no loyalty to put back into the company.
Before my layoff, our group decided to put on a presentation to management telling of our accomplishments for the year. And then I got laid off, and due to, I don't know, craziness or whatever, madness, or the love of this place, I came in and worked, and a lot of people asked me why. I want to participate in employee involvement because I want to help Fords out any way I can, and I want them to make it, period.
You know, we spend, at least I do, and most of the people who work here spend most of their waking lives inside this building. And, you know, I am committed to making that time for me as productive as I possibly can. And I think all employees feel the same way.
At Nashville Glass, the world's largest glass-making facility under one roof, the employee involvement process has created an environment for improved product quality, plant efficiency, and job satisfaction.
The EI process have really what I would consider turn this plant around. Everybody just, it's a harmony type thing. You still have problems, but at least you can get them out and talk about them and get something done about them now.
That's probably the best mechanism that we've had for the hourly people to have some input into decision-making as to how their jobs should be run. As far as communications, mutual respect, dignity in the workplace is something we've tried to achieve for years and have seemed to have fallen short. I think this is now becoming a reality since people have started talking to each other.
So we've took the adversarial role out of the thing, and I think that's one of the most important things that has occurred through the EI program, you know.
Ford has actively encouraged its suppliers to adopt employee involvement. Rockwell International is a supplier that has achieved important gains using the process.
We have learned that you cannot truly get productivity increases and quality improvements without being totally committed to people involvement programs and getting people involved in those programs. Because of these intensive efforts in employee involvement, we have significantly increased our ability to impact the improvement in our quality to such customers as Ford Motor Company.
Quality automotive parts from throughout the world of Ford and outside suppliers reach their designated points for assembly, where employee involvement is helping make Ford more competitive and a better place to work.
First of all, I want to say this is the first time that a group of our caliber has been up with the plant steering committee, and we left that meeting feeling that we were a part of the EI program here at Wixom.
Here it is, management's making a change, you know, and they're saying, hey, we've got all kinds of resources on the line. Let's draw from them resources. And personally, that's given me a chance of being a floor worker. I've got a value. I've got some resources there I'd like to share with everyone else. And to have them come and tell me we're giving you the opportunity to do that, it's great.
They took us up to Troy to introduce us to this IP testing machine. They left us there for a day just to get us familiar with it and what it would do and what we can do with it. We had to keep this machine capable of doing what it could do. So we kept monkeying around with wires, switching wires around, and there was 40 hookups, and we got it down to 2 hookups where we're checking about 75% of what it did with 40 hookups.
About a year and a half ago, we installed, it started on the computerized, laser-guided automatic spray equipment. The automatics put the same paint on every job, day after day. There's no such a thing as having a lot of paint here, none enough here. It's all there. It's over the whole unit.
Well, if we have a new man come in and he wants to know what his job is, it has to pertain with electrical. We can just take him over and show him what plug-ins he has to make.
Your delay for your headlight on light. Just what turns your lights off and on, depending on how bright it is.
And it's a lot easier if you can see it rather than trying to tell somebody what it is. We have less repairs. We run a better quality job. Not near as many splices to make. You know, it saved a lot of time.
What I've seen out there in the way of the EI process is prior to that process, we would tell people what to do, how to do it, be more dictatorial. However, now that we talk to them and get the feedback from them, we make them part of the job. Our car is better, our audits are better, our acceptance of the car, I believe, is much better with this EI process.
We were getting problems with metal coming into this plant that we had no control over. So we wrote a proposal to management and requested that we be allowed to go to Chicago Stamping and see if we couldn't find out why we were getting oily metal and different problems that gave us the problems here in Louisville. They had no way of knowing what
our problems were down here because they're on the other end of this thing. They also unloaded on us some of the problems they're getting from us when we return their empty racks, how we're doing it wrong. So it was very beneficial in both directions. We got some things solved, and they got some problems solved.
I see guys right now that used to be labeled a long time ago as radicals that are now in problem-solving work groups, that are now problem-solving work group leaders, that are now significant portions and parts of this company, putting their input into the system.
It seems that the numbers were something like 400 ideas turned in from just the hourly people on the floor, and they came over on their own time to look at that vehicle. And the acceptance rate was somewhere in the neighborhood of 90%. The same thing happened on the Bronco when it was built. The pre-production models were brought in, given the opportunity to go over and make suggestions as to how to build it better.
The Ford employee involvement process is now also at work in Ford dealerships, where the latest service technologies and the people factor meet.
We're trying to position our organization so that we can better market our new quality Ford products and at the same time meet the service needs of our customers. We know that we're going to have to make changes in the way we do business. And to make those changes, we cannot make them without the understanding and commitment of our employees. Employee involvement provides a forum for that change. It's a structured time and place to sit down and talk about better ways to run our business. Once the employees found out this program was for real, all kinds of good things began to happen. They came to the party, the management came to the party, I came to the party. We're moving in a direction we want to go now.
For the Ford Motor Company, the future is now. At Ford Aerospace and Communications subsidiary,
It's made it easier because the information that otherwise would have been lost by someone not coming forth with an idea, let's say, and there's so many eyes in the laboratory that see good things but don't come forward with them, now do. And they will just come to a research scientist's office, and then he will know what's going on. Perhaps he'll come into the lab and say, oh, gosh, yes, now I know what that might be, or I'll go think about it, and progress is made.
Well, I think the same reasons that exist on the automotive side of the business for having an employee involvement exist here. Those reasons being that any solutions to problems that we may arrive at here are better addressed by having input from all levels of the organization.
I personally feel better about what I'm doing, and I observe that other people in the group seem to be happier. You know, they enjoy their work more. And that, I think, results in more productivity automatically.
Ford management and Ford employees using new tools and new technologies, committed to enhancing Ford products and their work life, making a better, stronger Ford Motor Company by taking new approaches to the people factor. Playing a major role in jointly developing and implementing employee involvement for hourly employees is the United Auto Workers. Mr. Donald F. Eflin, UAW Vice President and Director of the union's National Ford Department.
And the EI process has made it possible for workers to contribute in new ways so that they take greater pride in their work than ever before. One of the unique features of the EI process is that everybody benefits. Workers benefit because the quality of their work life is improved and the jobs become more meaningful and rewarding. The company benefits because the efficiency of operations is improved, scrap is reduced, absenteeism is reduced, and in other ways the operation is more efficient. The customer benefits because the quality of the product is improved and he gets more value for his dollar. So it is truly a win-win situation. Everyone can benefit and no one loses.
Once again, Mr. Peter J. Pastillo, Vice President, Labor Relations, the Ford Motor Company.
We've tried to go and learn and teach and do everything at the same time. We now have come to grow, and we are growing EI. We think, in fact, we expect that over time, all of our plants, all of our people, all of those who want to do so, because employee involvement is a voluntary act, will participate in the process. And that's not just Ford US, that's Ford system-wide, because we think this has just as much application in the other countries in which we operate as it does in the United States. EI is really but a part of a new way of managing that we're seeking for the Ford Motor Company. So we think it's part of an overall process that will allow us to grow and be even more competitive as we reach into the next century.
Years ago, I got involved very actively. Workshop meeting for EI.